Hello students, welcome to Notebook. In this video lesson, we will analyze the challenges India faced in the aspect of economic development in the years following independence. We'll study the development strategies adopted by the government and its achievements and limitations. Let us now begin. In 2006, the people in Bhubaneswar, in the state of Orissa, were facing a crisis. A Korean company, POSCO, had signed a memorandum of understanding with the state government in 2005. The POSCO India Steel plant was located in the Jagat Singhpur district. For the tribal people, it meant displacement from their home. The environmentalists feared that mining would degrade the environment. However, the state government felt that it would create employment opportunities and would encourage foreign investment. Women and men from the Gram Panchayats of Dhinkia, Nuagaon and Gadakujango protested. They raised slogans and demanded that the plant should not be allowed to set up at the cost of their livelihoods. The demonstrations were organized by the Rashtriya Yuva Sangathan and the Nabanirman Samiti. You can understand that there are several conflicts of interest here, which leads us to important questions. What kind of development does Orissa need? And whose need is synonymous with the need of the state? These questions cannot be answered by a single expert. For this, environmentalists, economists, and people's representatives should be consulted. In addition, following democratic procedures, such decisions should be approved by the people. Following independence, India had to take several such decisions. These decisions involved weighing the interests of one social group against another. Nonetheless, these decisions were aimed at achieving a model of economic development. It was decided that development should mean both economic prosperity and social justice. It was also agreed that the matter could not be left solely to businessmen or farmers, and that the Indian government should play an active role in ensuring economic and social justice. Political contestation often involves the very idea of development. Development does not have a uniform meaning for everyone. Development for an industrialist who wishes to set up a steel plant for the urban consumer may mean displacement for the local or tribal people. Development is often synonymous with becoming more modern and following the path of Western industrialization. Modernization, as in the West, involved disintegration of traditional social structures and the rise of liberalism, capitalism, material growth, and scientific rationality. India, after independence, had two models of modern development: that of the liberal capitalist model of Europe and the US, and the socialist model of the USSR. Many were impressed by the Soviet model, including the CPI and Pandit Nehru. But not many were impressed with the capitalist model. The national leaders agreed that the socio-economic concerns of the government of free India could not be as narrow as the economic concerns of the colonial government. Eradication of poverty and socio-economic redistribution was seen as the primary concerns of the government. Some preferred the path of industrialization to achieve the goals of development. Others, however, advocated agricultural development and alleviation of rural poverty. Nonetheless, all agreed that development could not be left to the private players. The Indian government realized the need to develop a planning process to rebuild the economy. This obtained a lot of support in the 1940s and 1950s. The Great Depression of the 1930s in Europe and other parts of the world, and the reconstruction of Japan and Germany in the post-war period contributed to the public support for planning. Along with this was the economic growth of the Soviet Union in the 1930s and 40s against heavy odds. Industrialists do not always seek an open economy without state control of the capital flow. In 1944, a section of Indian industrialists got together and drafted a joint proposal to set up a planned economy. This was known as the Bombay Plan. The Bombay Plan wanted the state's involvement in industrial initiatives and economic investments. Thus, planning became the most obvious choice for India post-independence. The Planning Commission was formed in March 1950. It was set up by a resolution of the Government of India. The Prime Minister was the chairperson of this commission. It was a powerful machinery for developing economic strategies for the nation. The Planning Commission had an advisory role. Its recommendations only became operative when the Union Cabinet approved these. The resolution which set up the Commission outlined its scope of work. Since then, the Government of India has substituted the Planning Commission. It was replaced by the Niti Aayog, the National Institution for Transforming India, on 1st of January 2015. You can find out more about it on their website, niti.gov.in. Left-wing as well as right-wing parties were in favor of planning for the Indian economy. What are left-wing and right-wing parties, you ask? Well, in politics, left and right are terms used to categorize the position and ideology of the parties, with special regard to social change and the state's role in economic redistribution. Left-wing parties often concern themselves with the alleviation of poverty and upliftment of downtrodden sections of the society. These parties support government policies for the benefit of these sections of society, support social equity, and oppose social hierarchy. Right-wing parties believe in competition and favor a free market economy to ensure progress. These parties believe that the government should maintain law and order and not concern themselves with the economy. Usually, the left-wing ideology is marked by an emphasis on freedom, equality, fraternity, human rights, progress, reform, and internationalism. The right wing, on the other hand, stresses on the authority, hierarchy, order, duty, tradition, reaction, and nationalism. Well, students, with that, we come to the end of this video lesson. In the second part of the video lesson, we will discuss the early initiatives of the first 5-year plan, FYP, as well as industrialization. We'll also touch upon the key controversies regarding agriculture and industry, as well as public and private sectors. Team Notebook wishes you a warm goodbye. See you soon.